Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. Imagine just a single line of ancient wisdom, a piercing declaration that cuts through centuries, speaks right to us today. We're diving deep into that really powerful statement from the prophet Hosea. Their sacrifices will bring them shame. That's Hosea 4.1 nin. Now, our sources today, they really explore this specific verse. And, well, there's pretty profound implications for devotion, for purpose. Our mission really is to get why this was so urgent back then for ancient Israel. And maybe more importantly, what lessons it holds for us now, in our modern lives. Sort of a shortcut to getting informed without all the overwhelm.
Yeah, and what's striking, I think, is just how timeless this warning really is. Their sacrifices will bring them shame. It's not just about stone idols back then. It points to something really fundamental in us, this human tendency to, well, invest our best energy, our hopes into things that promise a lot. But in the end, they deliver emptiness.
Right.
It's a trap, isn't it? Just as relevant today, maybe with, I don't know, chasing likes online or getting lost in workism, as it was for ancient Israel. That, I think, is the real aha moment here.
Absolutely. So, okay, let's go back then. We're talking the northern kingdom of Israel. And the prophet Hosea, he spoke with incredible boldness, didn't he? Just revealing the unvarnished truth about their lives. This wasn't some gentle suggestion. The source describes it more like a direct confrontation. Think about it. They'd been delivered from slavery by the Lord himself. An amazing rescue, and yet, astonishingly, they turned their hearts away towards idols. Their days, well, the source tells us, were filled with drinking, sexual immorality, lots of lustful activities.
Yep.
But it wasn't just about those actions, was it? The core issue, the material highlights, it went much deeper. They committed what gets called spiritual adultery, bowing down before foreign gods.
And connecting that to the bigger picture, it becomes so clear. Israel essentially ignored God's love,
Yeah.
his power, his justice. They started looking elsewhere for protection. Foreign nations, these idols carved from wood and stone. They were seeking favor from gods who, well, the text makes it really plain, couldn't hear them, couldn't save them. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What did they actually believe these idols could give them? What was that promise they were chasing?
That's the heart of it, isn't it? Comfort, prosperity, peace. They wanted all that. But they looked for it literally everywhere except in the Lord their God. It's baffling. They genuinely seem to believe that offering more sacrifices, whether to these idols or, get this, even to Jehovah, but with hearts totally distant, that somehow this would guarantee peace, success, prosperity.
It's almost like a formula they thought they'd figured out.
Yeah, like the religious activities were, I don't know, a shield, enough to cover their disobedience.
Yeah.
They saw sacrifices not as real devotion, but more like bargaining chips, trying to buy blessings.
And the source really hammers this home. It wasn't the act of sacrifice that was wrong in itself. It was the heart behind it. That transactional mindset, that's what made it meaningless, or worse, shameful. But you have to wonder, from that point of view, did they ever see it wasn't working? Or were they just convinced these bargaining chips were the way?
Well, here's where it gets really, really interesting. What did these sacrifices actually look like day to day? And what was the actual outcome? Because the source paints a pretty vivid picture. They were giving their valuable time to worship wooden images, literally, spending their resources, their money to build these idols. And they weren't just passive about it. They were actively copying the practices of the nations around them,
Yes.
joining in these big parties, festivals filled with drinking, dancing, even prostitution. And they genuinely hoped this would please their chosen gods, get what they wanted.
It's fascinating how the text puts their intense effort right up against the final result. The source says it so powerfully, the wind just carried away their sacrifices, like
No.
dust. That's not just like a metaphor for failure, is it? It speaks to something utterly empty, worthless, completely in vain. Can you imagine? Investing so much of yourself only for it to be completely meaningless. Blown away, gone.
It's such a powerful image. Heartbreaking, really.
Yeah.
The very things they put their trust in, they betrayed them. Instead of finding that peace they desperately wanted, they just found emptiness. Instead of gaining favor, they gained guilt, piled it on. And instead of joy, they reaped shame, just shame.
Yeah.
It's a really stark reminder, isn't it? Misplaced devotion, it leads down a very predictable, very painful road. And this isn't just, ancient history tucked away in a book. For us today, the echoes are surprisingly clear. Think about it for yourself.
Yeah.
What are the things you invest your most valuable assets in? Your time, your energy, your hope. What do you truly expect them to deliver? And maybe ask, are they actually delivering?
And the source is clear, isn't it, that the return on that kind of misplaced devotion, it always diminishes. It's a losing game. Shame is kind of the final dividend you collect.
So, okay, let's bring it forward. What are the practical insights for us today from this ancient warning? Because the source is emphatic. This warning isn't just for ancient Israel, not by a long shot. We might not, literally bow down to statues carved from wood or stone anymore, but the temptation to sacrifice our lives to, let's call them modern idols. It's just as real. And honestly,
Just as insidious.
exactly, the forms change, right? But that underlying human pull, seeking ultimate satisfaction or security or maybe our identity in something other than God, that stays constant. The source is basically calling out these gods that we might be serving without even realizing it. And our source actually names some of them directly. It talks about the idol of wealth, the idol of success, the idol of pleasure, or maybe the idol of approval, what other people think of us. So here's the challenge, maybe for you listening. Are you sacrificing your time, your talents, your money, your energy, chasing these modern idols? Well, maybe neglecting your devotion to God. Do you give the absolute best of yourself to your career, to entertainment, to building up your reputation, and then maybe just offer God the leftovers?
Yeah.
If there's anything left at all.
And that prompts a really important question for all of us, I think, if we connect this back. The consequence is exactly the same as it was for ancient Israel. These modern idols, they can't give life. They can't truly satisfy the soul, that deep longing we have. And ultimately, they will leave you empty, disappointed, and yes, ashamed. They betray the trust we place in them because, well, fundamentally, they just can't deliver on the promises they seem to whisper to us.
And there's another layer, too, particularly for those who identify as Christian. Our source points out this subtle but really dangerous modern trap. It's this idea that Jesus is somehow just for later, for heaven, but that our life right now, our present reality, that has to be built on the world's terms. It's this compartmentalization. It really echoes ancient Israel's divided heart, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Chasing worldly gain with all their might. Like Christ has nothing to do with Monday morning or their daily choices, their immediate needs.
Yeah, and the text calls that a tragic mistake. It's quite striking, really. To live that way is like implicitly saying, okay, Christ is for heaven someday, but right now, the world is what I need. And that just fundamentally misunderstands the whole point of Christ's gift, his role in our present. It sets up this false split, as if faith is only about the afterlife, not about the life we're living right this second.
But the truth, as our source really argues, is the exact opposite. Christ is presented not just as some future guarantee, but as the active present source of life itself, of peace, strength, sufficiency.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah, today.
Without him, the source says, you are nothing. So to compartmentalize him like that, to sort of push him aside while you chase worldly things, that's inviting shame right into your life.
Yeah.
It's just repeating that ancient pattern, looking for satisfaction where it absolutely cannot be found. So remember this, the source really drives this home. Christ is everything.
Yeah.
He's not just your ticket to heaven, He's your present salvation, your daily deliverer. And the material's pretty blunt. If you leave him, if you sideline him for these other pursuits, you'll quickly realize just how empty and frankly how powerless you actually are on your own. God hasn't called you to shame. The call is to glory in Christ Jesus. And the evidence of his love, his power, it's right there. The cross shows you how much he loves you. The resurrection shows his power to give you real life now and forever. And the Spirit within you, that's his actual presence, his guidance, day by day.
So the core question becomes unavoidable then, doesn't it? Why? Why would you trade all of that, his love, his power, his presence, inspoise, for these empty idols that cannot save, that can't truly sustain you? The lesson from Hosea 4.19 is just this direct, urgent call. Turn away from those idols. Return to the Lord. He's the source of true life.
Exactly. And that means actively choosing not to let your sacrifices, whatever form they take today, bring you shame, but instead letting your devotion bring you actual joy. It's about redirecting those most valuable assets you have, practically. What does that look like? Well, giving God your best. Your time, maybe in prayer or study, your talents, using them in service, your money in generosity, your energy in obedience to what he asks.
Yeah, the source basically advises us, invest in what lasts, what's eternal, not in what's constantly fading, passing away.
And the promise attached to that, it's profound. When you live for Christ, your life won't be like that dust in the wind, like those empty ancient sacrifices. Instead, it'll stand firm, like a house built on solid rock. You won't be clothed in shame. You'll be clothed in honor. You won't be empty. You'll be filled with the Spirit. You won't end up disappointed, but truly deeply satisfied in him.
A completely different outcome.
It's completely different. So wrapping this up, what are the big takeaways you can carry from this deep dive today? Hosea's ancient words, they really do echo down through the centuries, don't they? With this profound challenge. Their sacrifices will bring them shame. Quest 2. Our exploration today, hopefully, has shown us the importance of not repeating Israel's mistake. Instead of giving ourselves over to idols, whether they're actual ancient statues or those modern pursuits like wealth, success, pleasure, approval, the call is to give ourselves fully, completely to Christ. He is our salvation. He is our deliverer. He is our everything.
Which leads to, I think, a really important question for you to mull over. What truly satisfies in the long run? Really, the source is urging us, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't waste your life chasing things that ultimately can't satisfy. Don't spend your days bowing down, even subtly, to false gods that only offer these fleeting temporary promises. Instead, the invitation is lift your eyes to Jesus.
Mhm.
Let your devotion to Him, your whole devotion, let that be the source of your joy, your peace, your everlasting honor. So maybe the final thought is this. When you consider your own sacrifices today, where your time, your talent, your energy is really invested out, what kind of ultimate outcome are they truly promising you? And perhaps more importantly, what might a deeper, undivided devotion to Christ offer instead?